everybody, and welcome to Mouse Traveler. I'm Jules, and I'm here to offer you yet another opinion of how and when the parks will reopen. The good news is that Disney parks will reopen, but when and how? I'm going to start off and just say that I predict that we won't see both parks open until July. And I believe that as far as crowd levels, there are three trains of thought. But let's start with explaining why I believe July. Right now, several states are under strict stay-at-home orders. We all know this. These orders include language restricting people to stay in their homes and only leaving for essential trips. Stay in your homes for how long? I mean, right now, that answer is left in the hands of the governor of California and Florida with regards to the Disney parks. And while most Americans are abiding and supportive of helping each other stay safe, I predict as we hit the ever-elusive curve and level out or start to see a decline in coronavirus cases, people are going to come out of hiding. I mean, they've been trying to be creative at home, and now they're kind of getting a little antsy with the sun and the brighter weather. So I think this will happen toward the last week of April. I mean, we're there right now. I mean, people are already starting to take out their kayaks and get out into the parks. So I don't know how much longer they can wait to, get back to life. So May is going to really be the breaking point for most people. It is in May that there will be a lot of pressure for government to reopen for business and begin, and states that have least been affected will start to lift restrictions. So as for Anaheim and Orlando, when this happens, Disney would invite furloughed workers back to train and then retrain in preparation for reopening the parks. And so I think that Disneyland would open before Disney World as Disney tests the waters. It just makes sense. How could Disney get everyone retrained for customer service, parades, including dance routines and changing from spring events into summer and new entertainment? I mean, Disney is good, but are they that good? To be prepared within a couple of weeks, I don't know. So we also take into account how hard it has been to restock your refrigerator. Think about that. The hunt for toilet paper and cleaning goods. And although I'm sure Disney has most of the essential goods from before the shutdown, they must restock their perishables. So they still must have all the necessary food to feed the masses. And I just can't see this happening in a matter of weeks. Will their suppliers be able to meet those mass quantities of food that Disney requires to operate all its restaurants and concessions? I mean, that's a lot of food. I am an essential worker that has been delivering food. I will tell you, my customers have not had entire orders filled due to back orders and out of stock food. And this is currently still an issue. Also, there still isn't a vaccine. So although I would love to be optimistic about an opening date, I just don't see the parks opening in June. Now to crowd levels. Once Disney World reopens for business, how will crowd levels be affected? Here are a few trains of thought for the dates in 2020 that I have. So in scenario one, we would see significant spikes in crowd levels due to people rescheduling their trips from reopening of the parks until the end of the year. This would increase crowds to what you see in most crowd calendars as the red zone. Right now, Disney is offering free dining until September for those who reschedule their trips during this time. So a number of people rescheduling would choose dates from reopening until the free dining ends. If that is the case, then September crowds will change from the choice green in September to, which is the lowest level on a crowd calendar, to at least orange, if not red. So in scenario two, due to the many people being without work, they would see this as an opportunity to reallocate their trip funds to pay for their essential bills due to the, not being employed, and thus completely canceling their trips. So in scenario three, people put off their trips until they feel more comfortable being in crowds and after they see if there has been an effective vaccine. In this third scenario, I think there would be a good chance that most people, especially elderly, those with pre-existing conditions, and those with younger children who are, protective, might not want to take the risk of being surrounded by people. Because for months, we have been bombarded by every minute detail of how easily this virus spreads. They're finding new things, every day. The fear of how it can affect you and the fear of leaving your home unprotected. To expect these people to feel safe flying on a plane with recirculated air and then to be surrounded by people from all over the world, essentially elbow to elbow at times, and then touching the handlebars and buttons. So, in doing my research, I have found that those who have had trips canceled are rescheduling trips for June through September, with others just rescheduling until spring of next year. I think there will be that we will see the significant spikes in crowd levels in August, September, times before school reopens. After that, we will see trip rescheduling fizzle out, in October, and then a small spike the week of Thanksgiving through the first 3 weeks after Thanksgiving, and then a spike again in Christmas week. And when I would not even consider or think about going either Thanksgiving week or Christmas week this year. So given all these scenarios, I think it's important to keep in mind many people have already booked their trips during the holidays. So these people who have to reschedule, if they were to want to reschedule for the holidays, they're still going to have to find resort availability, which most has been booked up. So as a DVC member myself, I was able to book my trip 11 months out in advance. That was January. And even at 11 months, I was not able to book full availability and had to waitlist one night of my stay. I did eventually book the entire trip, but this was at the beginning of the year. And so far as availability for a Disney Vacation Club resort, I think a person would likely need to be looking at staying at Old Key West or Saratoga Springs. If you want to understand just how crowded things will be, you can see how much availability there is at those two resorts, because usually there are rooms still available even up until the time you want to travel at those two resorts. And will the entire park be open when it finally does reopen? At this point, I have not found anyone who knows, and my feeling is maybe they will open the downtown shopping areas first before opening any of the parks. Parks may and probably will cut back hours of operation at first and use this time to practice new park entry criteria. Maybe even using some of the same protocols that chain stores are using right now, where they let so many people per area while monitoring this. These are just thoughts that come to mind. Disney has stopped taking reservations until June 1st, so they themselves are putting an optimistic date of reopening by June or soon after. We have endured it thus far. It's only a matter of a little while longer, so how exciting it will be to get to experience what it was like when a Disney park opened for the very first time. Lucky us. So until next time, I'm Jules from Mouse Traveler. Stay magical.